Rania Effat. Thank you, Jim, for introducing me. It's my pleasure to be with you here tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jim if you don't know about him yet.
Raise that voice. You can do it.
All right. I was great.
That's better.
He is a published author, speaker, and elite entrepreneur. Jim Pagiamtzis is the founder of Get Connected, Make Wealth Happen. There have been articles published online by Toronto Public Library Small Biz Express, Centennial College, Happen.ca, Linking People and Entrepreneurs, House Business Blog, which is the Staples Business Depot, and Metroactive.org. Printed articles for FedEx Freight Canada, the newsletter for Centennial College Access Magazine. He has been on thatchannel.com, speaking on how to become networking success. Jim Pagiamtzis in 5 years have successfully leveraged his written articles into speaking all over the GTA, from consulting with Burford Fluid Control, Enterprise Toronto, Career Door, Skills for Change, and Trios College. He has delivered keynote for Monarch Park Collegiate, spoke on 3 key tasks to success, and how to attract a mentor. His dynamic speaking style has empowered and inspired his audience to learn, do, and apply his simple and effective performance selling system. Jim has also volunteered with Junior Achievement in Toronto on economics of staying in school. There's so much I can say about Jim. He has done so much volunteering and so much talk, but the best thing to do is to let him speak to you. And Jim?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, that was quite an introduction, and we're just having some small, challenges with the thing, with this PowerPoint. I know you may not be able to see it, but don't worry about it. I'm going to get this presentation, all presentations speaking out to you. So we're going to get started on that. And the first talk is called How to Become a Networking Success. I'm excited that everybody's networking, but we're going to take this to the next level. Because at the end of the night, I want you all to understand that what Larry Cooper said is absolutely true. But we can get better. Let's begin. So I got 2 questions in the room. Who in the room likes to talk? Put their hands up. Okay, we count. 6 people, 7 out of 35. Okay. So who doesn't like to talk, but is willing to learn? Put your hand up. That's the rest of you. Well, see, Larry didn't tell me that. Okay. So I have a huge challenge ahead of me. So I hope at the end we're going to get to 100%. Okay. See, I'm already sweating already. So I'll quickly tell you about my experience. Is a number of years ago, in 2003, I met some great mentors. And I was on an ordinary journey, but these 2 great mentors really gave me the ability to be on an extraordinary journey. And that's why I'm here today. Because they saw something that I had that I didn't even know I had. And I'm going to tell you that you have the same ability, and I'm hoping today to share some insight that you can do it as well. So in my journey, I went out to symposiums, I went out to seminars. One of my mentors' name is Max Saroud. He's the president of the Society of Internet Professionals. Website is sipgroup.org. And sat down with Max a month after I met him and basically followed him around for almost 5 years. And he gave me the opportunity to sit in front of people and speak and sweat and do all the rest. And that was the arena where I was learning. Learning on the go. And then today, as you heard with the accomplishments I had, it's humbling to hear them, but an opportunity to share the insights of success and what it means and how you can affect other people. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to get into the PAR strategy. A lot of my friends call this the perfect system, and I always say to them, where do you see perfect up there? Did everybody see perfect? And I always tell them, just go with the flow, Jim. Just if it's perfect, go with it. So at the end of this presentation, you are going to become professional networkers following this system. And the first one is business card we're discussing and how to use it. Tonight, you've been doing a really good job using your cards on a networking event, but I'm going to tell you how to do it even better. Next thing is attitude. Walking into a room and make sure that your presence is felt and you're engaging and speaking to people, and no fluff, just straight ahead, as Larry put it so well. The last one is really important, is key questions. Are you having an engaging conversation where you're gaining the interest the networking event that we had earlier. I was excited to participate. Thank you for asking me to participate. And I was on the edge of my seat listening to some of everybody speak because they really had intriguing stories. So the goal is to do this over and over again, and you all can become professional networkers. We'll begin. The business card. Now, I'm going to be talking, I'll be mentioning about business, but it also is an info card, it's your billboard. And one of the things I want to see is who has a card. Now, I know I've got some cards, but who everyone has a card? Put their hand up. Can I have them quickly? Everyone has a card. Give them to me right now. There's a lesson here. How many I got here? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, there were. Okay. Okay, last one. Okay. That's going to see around here. Okay. Okay. Fine. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Is that it? Any more? Thank you. You gave me 2. Boy, do I feel strong. Okay, more. Okay. More. Plus. Yeah, excuse me. Okay. There's a lesson here. Okay, so I got cards. Did I have your cards? Which is great. See, that's the lesson. Who asked me that? Yes, you may. Thank you very much. Now, he who has the card has the power. There you go. Here, just pass it around. Now, who didn't give me a card? You're going to embarrass them? No. No, who didn't give me a card? Who gave me a card? Okay. The lesson is, you still can. See, what I realized is it doesn't matter where you are, you always need to be prepared for the opportunity. And I've done this exercise, and no, I don't want to embarrass people. But I want people to actually think, because I told Larry, I told people here that I'm going to challenge you today. And that's what lessons learned like. Because if you learn it here, then you're never going to forget me ever again. I would do that. So it's still open, and you can put your card there. So when you're going out and about meeting people, it's always important to have a card. When I started meeting people, I would have my card. Let's see, who wouldn't have a card themselves. So I carried a second card with me. And the back was blank. A lot of these cards, back were blank, so you can write their information. Okay? Because the only people who don't have cards, what are you going to do? Go get a napkin. Be prepared. And I tell you, I've lived by this, and sometimes people have a card, or they have something on the back of their card, and I ask me, I write them on. Again, it's remembering that. Prepare for the opportunity. 2-card process. One of the famous speakers I heard is, I leave the house without a card. I left the house naked. You know, I mean, it's like, go and call a story. You don't know who you're going to meet. I heard some great stories actually today. Who told me the Halloween story? Who told me the Halloween story? Maybe we should share that at the end. How's that sound? We'll share that at the end. But it was great because we're on Halloween trick-or-treating, and how long did the person get the job after
After a few days.
Few days. How do you know trick-or-treating? It's a great story. Thank you. So there's some great stories in here about the power of networking. Elevator pitch. We've done this tonight. And I've heard some great elevator pitches. The one thing that I highly recommend is keep practicing it. Because I was doing mine, I was kind of changing it. I was talking to Patrick and Rania. Boy, changing it. I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with changing it. But always be prepared because you could meet a recruiter, you can meet someone, and having it at the tip of your tongue, succinctly and concisely to the point, is good. Even here, it doesn't matter what designation you have, you can make it simple to the point. So have a couple and just write them down, knowing you're prepared for them. And when I go networking, sometimes I don't even talk about my speaking. I just talk maybe about, the industry that I'm in. So it's important to have that. The one thing that I did, and I'll share something with you. When I was going out there networking, is I had these business cards, but I said, okay, there's something more I can do. And I went to this event, and this guy had this card sitting on the table like this. And it's just an old cassette holder, right? So I said, I took it, and I put it in my pocket. I said, you know what? I'm the networking guy on the go. So the business card holder for on the go. And what happened was, it just carried it with me. It was just my reminder. And sometimes I have it in my pocket, or if I go to an event, I put it on the table, like this. And what happened was, hell would break loose. People would go in their purses, people would go in their wallets, trying to find their cards. So I was always prepared for the opportunity. And I realized that I was always triggering myself to have this, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you see billboards all around here promoting, hotels and all that. This is the most powerful tool, because you can't carry your resume in your portfolio in your back pocket. Let's be honest here. Okay, you can work towards that, but having an info card or some sort of business card is, I call it a trigger advice that you can use. So that's what I leave with, how important this piece of paper is. Okay. Next is attitude. Have you heard of Stephen Covey? Remember Stephen Covey? Stephen Covey's premise is what? Begin with the end in mind. You've all heard it. Setting a goal that TV is and working towards that goal. And sometimes, we have obstacles in the way. And we stop. Well, who said you have to stop? Find a way. Under the obstacle, over the obstacle, around the obstacle. A good friend of mine, Courtney, he was talking about an ant. How an ant, just because an ant can't cross, he calls his ant friends and they build a bridge to cross to get to the other side. Us as individuals as well, if we can't find it, well, we find resources to get over that. So I'll give you an example. When you're going out and we're looking for either a job opportunity or clients, we're going to face people telling us, not interested, no. Well, you're looking for that yes. So you have to have momentum. And I'm a big fan of the big mo, I call it. You're going to keep moving forward. You're going to have momentum, move over, and keep going until you get to that destination. And you have to be determined. All of us here are confident in our abilities and know what we know, correct? Because we learned it. But we have to realize you have to keep doing it. Someone said to me here that, was sharing that even though I'm working now, who said I'm helping others? So who was that? The other day there? She's helping others. She had a close family friend now who was in transition, and she's going to help her out. And she realized, well, even though she was working, she was still keeping active. I appreciate sharing that, because it's so important to understand that you have to keep yourself informed and moving forward at all times in your life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take a lot of your time, but you have to be conscious of it. And a lot of the successful people that I hang around with, that I work with, have the mentality. And they give me that momentum I need sometimes to move forward through accountability in other ways. One last thing I'll talk about is the handshake. I work out, see, and I was sitting down with my weights, and there was a guy beside me, and he was bench pressing, and he's a networker, to sit up, and hey, how you doing? And he shakes my hand, and gives me a fish handshake. I sat down again. I was like, oh boy, I can't let this happen. Got back up and I go, listen, can you just shake my hand again, but mean it? Boom! I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the house. Killed my hand. Now the lesson of the story is this: I don't have anything against fish handshakes. The caveat to that is, your handshake tells a lot about, oh, I do get fish handshakes, and I match it. So there's a slogan called mirror and matching. But when you shake someone's hand, I match it. So thinking fish handshake, you just give a little bit of a referral handshake. Don't kill the other person. There's nothing wrong with handshakes. This is their personality. But realize we use our speech, but we also use our body movements to show it, to show who we are. And that was just a very strong example, but it does happen. Because we do speak through our words and our body. So impression is important. Make a positive impression. How many times do you have to make a first impression? How many times? Once. The last thing, two things I want to talk about is the importance of reading. Do you have any readers in the group who likes to read? A couple of readers? Who likes to listen to audio? Anybody like to listen? Okay. One habit that you could do is self-development is something important to me. And a lot of the individuals I speak to are professionals and entrepreneurs. And a habit is something hard to start for some people. But what I explained what I'd like to share with you is that you always want to improve. And that's where Larry and I met at the Clemmer event, and it was a very intense 2 days, a very memorable event for myself in many ways. What I realized, we spent 2 days last week of December working on ourselves. And we could have had 30 other things to do that day. So I encourage you is to look at development. We have 99 local libraries here in Toronto. They all have audio and book programs. You can borrow books. So find a topic that's interesting. Maybe leadership. Maybe a book on networking. On my card, you can download a free chapter of my book on how to become a networking success. And other articles are on my site that I've written. So look at those resources and include yourself. And tonight you're doing it. And that's all about action. And I'm extremely happy about that. But you can always get better. Agreed? You can always get better. And I'm a big guy. So Patrick here is a guy's book. It's got in his pocket. And I was like, he's got a book and he's reading it with him. So I told that. The last part is questions. And this is really where I would like to share with you. Is when we go up speaking to people, we're always concerned about what we're going to say. And I'm telling you, don't be. Today, the example of what we're doing here with the game was exactly what this is all about. It's creating engagement with who you're talking to. And if you can figure that out, you'll be long ahead. So here's an example. Today, we had the sheet there. Now, everybody followed that sheet for the most part, correct? Did you find that you were changing their story or getting better with their story? Anybody was? How was that? Was that uncomfortable in the beginning? A little bit? Well, what? Through practice and encouragement, you got better. And one of my big thing is, I go to a lot of different events, but I make sure that I'm engaging and listening. So it's all about asking questions. And this is what I'm known for. I just sit and ask questions. I was at an event last week and talking to a lady there, and I just asked her questions. I talked about myself to her at the end of the night. She goes, "Man, you're asking a lot of questions." I go, "Yeah, because I just want to know what you do." And she told me what I did. It was, "That's why you asked me those questions." "Oh, you're a networker." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's the goal of me. It's not about me." And so we had a little fun over that. But so when you're going out, this is about what occasion. Here you're in an environment where you're networking. But you're going to come to other environments where you never know you're going to meet that recruiter. I've met recruiters in the most interesting places. The gym. I meet the most interesting people in the gym. I don't know what, dog will work out? Again, that's where the business card's important. The info card's important. I've met interesting people at weddings, at church, at family functions, all because of conversation. So you have to have I have to have confidence that you can explain what you do. And doesn't matter what your transition, what it is, you can find a way to give your infomercial in a way that is effortless for you and easy to explain to people. Because at the end of the day, it's about you creating connection. That's why it's get connected, my motto, make wealth happen. You have to set the connection first to get to the wealth. It's not the other way around, unless you want to win the lottery. And then you go working out backwards a little bit. Well, questions. So for example, in a daily conversation, I ask people questions. For example, where have you gone on vacation? And like the event that happened on February the 7th, I'm going to walk in there. I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm going to say, where have you been on vacation? And I've traveled over the United States and in Europe. And you'd be surprised. Sometimes you'll find a connection of where they've gone. And you have a more genuine conversation because you're talking something not about where you are, and they feel more comfortable. Then you can get into the process of what they're all about. So it's sort of a natural conversation. And a lot of the books that I've read talk about this, and then we forget about the fact that it's all about business sometimes. And the Halloween story is a perfect example. I mean, I couldn't think of an example now, so thank you for that. And basically one night, what happened? One night, if I can relate the story, they went out, the neighbors were talking, they hadn't seen each other in a few months, gave them a lead, and in 2 days, some person got a job. Is that basically what the story was? I got it accurate? I mean, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They didn't know what's going to happen, but they went out. And I've done this over and over again. I've created a great LinkedIn connections and on social media because of that. So when you come into these events, make sure you're not going to force your card on people, but I encourage you to warm up to the idea that you're going to get. You have 35 people, at least 10 cards tonight. But engage. Learn about them. Look at them. I mean, I saw some great cards today. I was making notes on some of the cards. Oh, there's bloggers in the house. All right. There's two. How many bloggers are in here? A few. There's a few bloggers in here. At least two. Who put their hands up? Put their hands up. Okay, we'll get you later. It's a couple blocks here. I'm like, excellent. And I'm going to be talking about that in my next talk. So again, what makes you different? The last part I want to talk about is two more things actually. Is the follow-up. The most important aspect of meeting people is following up. My workout partner, his name is Aiden. He had applied for a position for a basketball job, working in a reading and basketball program last year. When he comes to me and he tells me, I'm applying for this job, I'm excited about it. I go, really? Did you follow up? He looked at me like, really? What do you mean follow up? I go, did you call? No. What do you mean? You went for this interview? You got the person's name and you didn't call them yet? No, why? Why should I? What? How do you know if you got or not? I don't know, they're going to call me. No. I tell you, we met every week. I bothered him for 2 weeks. I didn't say, how you doing, Art? How are you, Art? Did you follow up? No. Did you follow up? I must have said at least 4 times. And I think he got annoyed by the 5th time I told him. He ended up calling them, he got the job. The best, I got one more good example is I actually did a talk last year for Enterprise Toronto. And I talked about this follow-up, and someone from the audience says to me, that's a good idea. Follow-up. The next day I get an email from a lady. She goes, thank you very much for that follow-up. I was surprised. She goes, because of what you said, I had an interview, I called my employer. She said, you're hired. And I said, why that? Because you actually took action. In following up. They admire that. They actually got, because she got the job because she followed up. I was like, there you go. And she was a restaurant manager for a national food restaurant chain. All it took was 1 more for me to get that. She was going to call either. So I said, I tell you, when you go to events, follow up. If you have an email address, a phone number, call up. Pick up the phone and call because you just never know. People appreciate that. I created a whole follow-up system because of that. People were asking me. The last thing I want to talk about is the 3 T's. So, who are the typers in the room? Put their hands up. Who has a type? 1 typer, 2 typers, 5, 4 typers. Okay, thank you. Now, do we have any converted talkers from the initial talkers? Do you have any groups that switched over? No? So, all right. How about texters? Anybody text? 1? Whoa, texters? Okay. The phone before this, I was very impatient when I text. New Year's a couple years ago, my brother sent me a text, Happy New Year. All I was typing was, thank you, and ditto. People were saying, what's wrong with you, man? I go, I want to learn text. I went around asking people, and someone was making fun of me. He said, how long have you done this earth? I go, 39 years. And you don't know how to text? I go, no. Learn. And Telsa told me I could make 250 free texts a month. I'm like, I can't even do 1. How embarrassing was that? So I went around, finally found a gentleman at a seminar and explained to me, and all of a sudden I became texting king. And it was interesting because if I would have been a little more patient, I would have figured it out. And now, I'm a texting king, and I got a new phone now, so I'm even better. The goal of this is communication language. We communicate in different ways. And if you understand these 3 T's, how important they are, they will really help you understand people. Because I talk to people, and they never call me back. But I can text them, I get a response. Patrick and Rania are perfect examples. I can call them, but they text me back. That's the way to do it. Now, I do have people who call me back, or I have people on email, like I'm working on an article for Canada1.com that's coming out tomorrow. I've never talked to the publisher once. We go and email it back and forth regarding the article and revisions and everything. Never talked once. That's just your style. Doesn't have time to talk to me. So be aware of the 3 T's in your daily conversations when you're meeting with people. It'll tell you a lot about how to communicate with them effectively. I want to talk a little bit about LinkedIn for 5 minutes. LinkedIn is a professional networking site. And again, a lot of people are on LinkedIn. A lot. Okay. One thing about LinkedIn is 3 things I'll give you tips about. First thing is, get your profile to 100%, or as close to it. There's wizards on LinkedIn that will guide you but having a full profile will give you a better visual ability in LinkedIn. Second is add connections. My friend Abram Powell, he's built a huge business because of his LinkedIn. He has a Computer Geeks in Toronto, and he all gets referrals from LinkedIn. And I'm trying to catch him, but I'm still way behind. But add contacts. So tonight, get the cards as Larry said. Add to LinkedIn tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it tonight. Get that. Get their email address. Make sure it's the right email address, and add them. The third part is recommendations. You may want to get references from your employee, but online recommendations are great. I urge you to begin to look into that. I was talking to someone earlier about recommendations, and she was saying that she's going to work towards it, and I suggest work with one and go from there. I have 20 recommendations over the past since 2004 on my LinkedIn, from my speaking, from previous employers. It is something that LinkedIn does pay attention to, and it shows in your initial profile how many recommendations you have. When you reach past 500, it says 500 plus, but it shows how many recommendations. It's easy to do. You just send the person, can you give me a recommendation on where I work on the consulting job that I did, do that. So those three things are a good starting point for LinkedIn. And that's what I work with that. And we're going to talk about blogging in a second.
I ask a question.
Yeah, at the end.
Why do we need to have as many contacts on LinkedIn as possible?
Because it's about your networking, your reach. I'll answer at the end.
Because you don't talk to them, it just...
Yeah, but they may know someone who could help you. It's their first and third connect. I'll answer your question at the end. It's a good question. So I just want to bring up Rania here for a little review at the end regarding what we talked about. Go ahead.
I can't follow what you're saying, absolutely, but I guess kind of a recap.
So why is the business card important? So ask, why is the business card important?
Exactly. Why is the business card important? Someone want to go ahead and...
Why is business card important?
Want to answer?
Why is business card important?
Your billboard.
Your billboard. Why is business card important? Come on.
Tells people how to contact.
Sorry, say that again?
Tells people how to contact.
Exactly. Anyone else? Okay. Remember, it's a connection point. It's a connection point of information about yourself. Why is attitude important? How important is attitude? Attitude is everything. Thank you. That's good. Next. Attitude. Your attitude shows who you are when you walk into a room. Shows who you are. And key questions. Why key questions important?
Make connections.
Engagement, yes.
Make connections.
Make connections, yes. What else?
There's your interest in the other person.
Believe in the person. Excellent. All great answers. So I have a little bonus thing for you. Thank you very much. Before you go for your coffee, I'm going to bring up, you can turn it on. I want to bring up Patrick Vizindavi.